Alright, just go ahead and clap.
We're here to pump you up. It's an old Saturday Night Live bit.
Everything's old. All our references are
They're old. No Comics for Old Men is brought to you by Unrivaled Tournament Series, coming to Haven for Heroes September 2nd for regional qualifiers. Contact us for information. Morning will be for qualification. Evening will be for finals. See who goes to Vegas. Come on out. Hey there, heroes. Welcome to the newly retitled No Comics for Old Men. My son came up with that. My son came up with that, and we loved it right away. We got to do it. So we're going to do Independence again this week. Ken's back this week, and we're going to do some Independence. We're going to go way back and talk about some Warlock 5, Redlands, and Unholy Grail. Ken, why don't you start us out with Unholy Grail?
Unholy Grail, we reviewed issue 1 last time we actually did this, and I mean we both liked it, and issue 2 just continues with the storyline. It's a great second issue. It's a very good take on the Arthurian mythos, where basically Merlin is possessed by a demon, so everything he's steering Arthur towards is leading towards something evil and sinister, and it's very cool to see how the story is developing. I don't know, seem to be on a Colin Bunn kick, so I don't know. Maybe he should send us some money when he gets residuals. I don't know, but I really enjoy his writing, and I would definitely recommend picking up the book. It's only 2 issues out, so it's
yeah, you can still go find this, no problem. Let me tell you, Unholy Grail, you got to read it, especially in issue 2, to find out the sword and the stone, to find out how that happened. The telling here of how the sword ends up in the stone is probably the best I've seen. If it's been told that way before, I've never seen it. It's really, really cool. Definitely check out that book. Colin Bunn is killing it. And the art's really good too. There's a great splash page in there that I just was like in love with. So.
Yeah, artist's name is Mirko Kolak. I imagine he's a newer artist. I haven't seen too much work from him, but yeah, really solid artwork. Fits the storyline really well too. Definitely marries up well with fun story.
And then Redlands, we read just like 5 minutes ago. This has been getting reviewed a lot, and we can see why. Ken?
It's good. It's a definitely a horror story, more set in a rural town called Redlands. They don't exactly tell you what state it's in, but I guess that's part of the appeal to it.
Seems like the South.
Yeah, I would say probably the South. You know, there's lynchings and burnings and stuff. It takes place in the 70s, but it's basically about 3 witches that come into the town and kill a lot of people for some sinister plans. And again, it's a good, really good number 1 because it pretty much drops you right in the middle of the story and really carries you through all the way to the end. And it doesn't explain too much, but it definitely sets it up where you want to read the second issue. And to me, that's what a good number 1 does. Gives you just enough to keep you interested and want to come back for more. And
as sinister as the witches are, they seem to be the good guys.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll find out if we keep reading. And they got us in for number 2, so we'll be after that. Now, let's go back 30 years, almost plus. 1986. I had just come back into the area, and we were kind of like not hanging out that much together. And then I joined the military, and I actually found this book down the road after 86, which was Warlock 5. And lo and behold, we were talking about it last week. Actually, last week and the week before. Wow, and he had also found this book. It's Independent from Aracel, or
Aracel. It's from like the 80s black and white explosion. I mean, we're dating ourselves, but it is called No Comics for Old Men. So hey, we're old. The comic's 30 years old, but it really is worth checking out. It is definitely from one of the better of the comics that came out during the black and white explosion in the late 80s, early 90s. And It's about it was a 20-issue run, but the first 13 are really the things that we're talking about.
Yeah, it kind of really changed after the 13th issue. I don't know whether they lost the writer, the artist, or what, but it had enough. I mean, this kind of run from a small independent like this back then was a big deal. The art's really good in the black and white. If you see the comparative to that time period, it was a really great story. We found it independently, apart from each other, and read it and loved it. And we were talking about like books we liked from the 80s, and we both brought this up. And Ken actually had the first 13 issues in his collection, which he was nice enough to dig out so I could reread some of them. And then we've been going through the comics here in the shop, and I found that we had some here, some of the issues, not number one, but we did have a bunch of them. And this is an unsolicited plug, but Warlock 5 is actually on Kickstarter, and one of our favorite current writers, Colin Bunn, is on that Kickstarter. We're really excited to find out what's going to happen with Warlock 5 on Kickstarter and what's going to happen in that book. So I think I'm gonna jump on board. We're gonna leave a link so you can check it out for yourself. But I think, can you find these in PDF, you think, online somewhere? I don't think you'll find these. Yeah. Maybe your local comic shop. I have some issues. You come down here. Yeah.
As far as I don't, you might be able to find them maybe online, eBay, something like that. Yeah. You might look out and find the originals. I don't really think they're going for a lot of money. It's just one of those things that was a limited print run. I don't think a lot of people really knew about it. I mean, maybe they do. If there's somebody else out there who actually reads us, let us know, because I thought it was a really great comic, and was really excited to find out that they're trying to revamp it and do a new version of it. It's a very cool story. It's basically reality is fractured, and there's these 5 characters from alternate Earths with different kinds. One where like sorcery is taken over. Another one where it's kind of like a Terminator future, where the robots rule everything. And there's different realities, and there's 5 different characters that each control a gate into other realities. And they're trying to kill each other because whoever controls all 5 gates gets to reshape reality in their own image. So that's basically the story. As far as what they're going to do with the revamp, I'm not sure, but from what I've seen, and if you do check on the Kickstarter, they give you a little explanation. So they do seem to be sticking pretty close to the source material as far as what the basic of the story is, and the art's really well from what I've seen. So if it sounds like something you're interested in, definitely check the link and give to the Kickstarter, because it definitely seems like a book that should come out and is certainly worth reading.
Yeah. Now, one more shameless plug. My nephew's a comic book writer. He wrote Saints and he wrote Few. And in 2 weeks, Few's trade paperback comes out, the entire series in one full book. I believe it's going to be $19.99. Go to your local comic shop and order it. It's an amazing book, and it has been picked up for possible production. So you never know. Enjoy.
That's it. Keep reading. I guess that's it for this week.
That's it for this week. Keep reading.